The Big Show with Night and Day. Barista-made coffee just the way you love it.
Welcome.
This is big.
To the Hodaki Big Show.
Really big.
With Jason Hoyt, Mike Minogue and Keyzie.
Well, not exactly. The fellas are stuck over in Brisbane. Wild times. I'm sure you're all over it if you have any form of social media available to you. Tony Lyall here filling in for the day. I got the call up earlier this afternoon as evidently they just didn't get on their flight. And I mean, a Warriors win will really do that to you, won't you? It was an incredible afternoon of NRL. The whole weekend actually was something else, but what a way to cap it off. The Warriors beating reigning premiers, the Panthers, 22-20. The penalty in the last minute to draw it up from the Panthers, just sailing slightly wide, and all hell breaking loose in the stands for fans of the Wars. And we do have a few pieces of information that we've got sort of dredging back across the ditch over the duration of their time there that we can play back as we get through the afternoon. And from what I've seen, it is an absolute shambles. If I'm talking to the boys on Friday, it started off as a shambles. Of course, Mogi forgot just about every single item that you need to travel internationally. And then from there, the wheels just continued to fall off. And I mean, the accommodation situation last night looks truly outrageous. I'm pretty sure Mogi might have slept on the bed of someone who he doesn't know who it is. But it's all above board, don't worry. We'll try to delve into it as we go. We'll make sense of it for sure. We'll get after it. We'll play some tunes now, I reckon. We'll get straight into it with Welcome to Paradise. You're listening to Radio Hodaki. Tony Lyall filling in on The Big Show.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
Smashing Pumpkins, Bullet with Butterfly Wings. You're listening to Radio Hodaki. It is The Big Show, but they are absent still, stranded in Brisbane. And obviously with Magic Round yesterday going the way it did, it was always a risk of whether they would catch a flight after the Warriors had played. When I was told the plan that they were coming back on Sunday after the game, my first thought was, if they win, they're definitely not going to come back. But I was told under no circumstances would they be staying over there. And I've actually had a similar thing happen to me. I was in Ireland when the All Blacks played Ireland on a Sunday afternoon. And actually the Kiwis played on the Saturday night in what was then the Rugby League World Cup semi-final. If you remember, Shawnee J scored right in the last minute and then kicked the conversion to send us to the final. That was the Saturday night. Huge in Ireland watching that. Then the next night, the All Blacks played and we won in the last minute. Ryan Crotty scored a try. It was about the 85th minute. And then I think it might have been Aaron Cruden iced it from the sideline on the second attempt because it was an early charge. And I had to catch a flight after that. And it was the most depressing flight I've ever been on. So I totally understand how they thought, we're not going to do it. But I've been informed reliably that one of the members of the Big Show made it back. Hoity J actually caught the flight. And I think we've got some audio here of him at the airport waiting for the rest of the guys to arrive after the game.
Oh, g'day, mates. Hoity J here, just wandering around the old duty-free. Still haven't heard from the fellas, which is slightly concerning. Flight's about an hour away. I've sent them a few messages. Usually Puxa is very good at getting back to me, but not even he's responding, so I'm sure it's going to be fine. Just keep calm and carry on, and I'm sure the fellas will turn up and we'll all make it home safely. All right, thanks, mate.
Well, make it home safely, they certainly did not. And after hearing this next piece of audio, I can understand why. This is the other two members, Keyzie and Mogi, after the win. And this is their thoughts on the situation, which I think is a nice juxtaposition after hearing Hoity J's.
So apparently we've missed our flight, but we don't give a shit. We're staying. We're never coming home.
We're supposed to fly out straight after the Warriors game, but I don't care. Hoity J can take that flight. We're coming home tomorrow. Maybe not even tomorrow. All right?
The Warriors win it because it's Magic Round. It's magic, baby. It's magic.
In New Zealand, you go
They were never coming home, quite frankly. It was never on the cards for them to get on that flight. Although I have been informed they will be back tomorrow. So we've got a few more bits and bobs that they've sent through to play out over the show, but you will certainly have to listen tomorrow to hear it from the horse's mouth, how they went, what happened, and if they can remember any of it from their trip. Feel free to send some abuse through as well on 3483 if you've got anything to say to the fellas for flaking out and missing the show today. We're reading some of those out shortly as well. Get in touch on 3483 as the afternoon progresses. And I reckon, they're not here to defend themselves, so really let them have it. We're going to have a bag-out session on 3483. And while we do, I'll play the Talking Heads. This must be the place. You're on Radio Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show Podcast.
Radio Hodaki, Datson's harmonic generator. Tony Lyall here filling in for the Big Show, who did not make it back from Australia. And, fair enough. You got to sometimes push the boat out. I had some interesting texts coming through on 3483. A lot of people questioning their integrity, not quite making the effort to get back, and someone also saying, what's Hoity J's excuse for not coming in? A real lackbone there due to the fact that he did make it back and he still didn't come in and do the show by himself. I imagine he would have said, hey, if they don't have to do it, if they don't have to go to work, then I'm also not going to go, which I think is probably about fair enough. And someone here at Radio Hodaki HQ has taken the liberty of piecing together the puzzle and basically putting all the little clips and bits from various social media platforms into about 1:30 so we can see where the wheels really did fall off for the Big Show.
Yeah, g'day Radio Hodaki, old Keyzie here, just on the balcony of the Lord Alfred Hotel. It's on Caxton Street, getting amongst Warriors Nation, about to head over to Suncorp for the big game.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's going off here at our Suncorp Stadium. I've got two absolute punishers either side of me, old Keyzie and Mogie, just off their heads, having a good old time. And, well, who knows, an upset's on the card. Hope springs eternal. Let's go the Wars.
G'day, you mad dogs. Absolutely humongous win for the Warriors over the Panthers. We've got to make our way to the airport in about 40 minutes. We'll be back on the show tomorrow. Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, g'day fellas, it's old Keyzie here at the Caxton Hotel. Hoity J's on the plane home. Hey, who gives a shit? We're not coming home.
Yeah, never coming home.
We're never coming home. Me and Mogie, we're staying here.
Never coming home!
Afterwards! G'day Hodaki, sorry, we missed the plane. We're not going to be home in time. I'm couch surfing tonight. We'll be back tomorrow. So look, sorry about that. We'll be home tomorrow, Tuesday. Tuesday's the best day to be home anyway. So we'll see you then. Backbone, $50 9-day voucher. So good.
Well, you can really see the wheels falling off in real time there. Quite an impressive progression. Someone who did make it home, Joel Harrison, the pants man, he was over there in attendance and he made it back. He's working in the office here at Radio Hodaki. We'll get him in a little bit to hear it from the horse's mouth, what went down, how everything happened, and what it was like to be in Brisbane for that absolutely famous victory for the Warriors over the Panthers yesterday. Got Shihad, Empire of the Sun, and a little bit of royal blood on the way.
The Hodaki Big Show Podcast.
Do what they told you. Do what they told you. Do what they told you. Do what they told you.
It's time to wage against the machine.
Winning in the game mode.
Yes, that is right. It is time to play Wage Against the Machine. Cheers to Super Liquor. Today's hourly wage is 40 New Zealand dollars. The cuticle busted off before. All these chumps ringing now. You're way too late. If you're calling now, you're too late. We already have someone on the line, and I believe we have Jeremy from Upper Hutt there. Jeremy, are you there, buddy?
Yes, I am.
Lovely stuff. Now, you understand the rules of the game, you understand your obligations, how you can take part in it, and you can win some coin.
Yes, I do.
Now, what's your strategy here? Are you just going to go for as long as you can? Do you have any strategy? Have you thought about this at all?
I have thought about it a bit, but yeah.
You just want to get into it?
Yeah, get into it.
Well, I mean, that sounds good to me. All right, we'll start it. You know what you have to do. You got to say stop, and then boom, you'll win whatever it is. Or if you don't say stop in time, you'll crash out humiliatingly. You ready?
All right, all good.
Let's give it a whirl.
Welcome to the machine.
1 hour. 2 hours. 3 hours. 4 hours. 5 hours. 6 hours.
Stop.
Oh, Jeremy, 6 hours. You're absolute legend. 6 hours at $40 an hour. That gives you, oh, come on, maths on this flight, 240 New Zealand dollars.
Cool, man. Awesome.
Nice work, dude. You love to hear it. Hey, do you want to self-harm and hear what you would have won had you stuck around?
Yeah, why not?
Let's go. You got to do it right. You'd be a madman not to hear how it goes. All right, let's see how much more you could have possibly won.
7 hours.
Oh, Jeremy, Jerry, I reckon you got away with one there. $240. You only lost out on $40. That must be a nice little slice of apple pie for a Monday afternoon.
Cheers, man. That's awesome.
No stress. And have you been at work or anything today? What have you been doing with yourself?
Yeah, I've been at home actually, just with the kids, and yeah.
Hey, that's work, mate. That's a full-time job, looking after those whippersnappers. How many do you have?
2 at home.
Oh, 2 at home. Some you don't notice out in the bush.
Yeah, it's a couple more.
Oh, all right. Well, we won't delve too much into that, but you have won $240, so you can maybe spend it, hire David Lomas and track the other ones down. All cheers to Super Liquor. We appreciate it, mate. And we'll be playing that again tomorrow with Matt and Jerry on The Breakfast Show. So do stick around and do try it. But that is us for today on Wage Against the Machine. We've got some tunes coming your way very shortly as well. Stick around. It's some more audio as well from The Big Show over there in Brisbane, currently stranded. Before that, let's figure it out. It's Royal Blood. You listen to Radio Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Pearl Jam, Even Flow on Radio Hodaki. Tony Lyall here filling in for the absent Big Show, still on their way home from Brisbane. And we've got a man here who was in Brisbane with the Big Show, Joel, the Pants Man Harrison, social media guru here at Radio Hodaki. Joel, how are you feeling and fearing after a large weekend over in Australia?
Oh, it was amazing. It was one of the greatest weekends I've ever had in my life. I'm sure you can tell by my voice as well.
Your voice doesn't sound great, I'm not going to lie. You're still in the Warriors shirt. So you managed to make it home. When did you depart?
My flight was 6 a.m. this morning, so I was up at 4 a.m. at the airport this morning, and yet straight off the plane, straight to work.
Were you straight from Caxton Street to the airport?
Yeah, well, I went home 10 o'clock last night, let's say. I knew I had an early flight. And
let's call it roundabout.
10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whatever. And I left and I saw Mike Minogue, Chris Key and James Pugsley. They were on one. It looked like it was the start of their night. I think they were going to a live music bar.
They were off to a live. So I was going to ask you, this is the last confirmed sighting that we have of them at about 10 o'clock last night, off to see some live tunes.
Yeah, and they were like, do you want to come? I said, I don't know. And I saw Keyzie walking with four X's as well, so it looked like he was on for a big night.
Well, I mean, I'm sure all will be litigated in due course. Everything will go through the correct channels. Yeah. There'll be some sort of trial. Maybe Judge Judy will be involved. But let's forget about the Big Show for the time being, and let's talk about the actual event itself. 3 huge days over there, Magic Round. You were there for all 3 days.
Yeah.
What was the apart from the Warriors? I mean, I imagine that has to be the highlight.
Yeah. I think the Warriors winning is a massive highlight. No one really backed us as well. No. Besides the faithful over there, it was a great atmosphere. One of the best sporting atmospheres I've ever been a part of. And it was just so many Warriors fans there, so many Warriors jerseys on the first 2 nights, even when they weren't playing as well. And it's just it's a magical time.
It's a magical time. And did you see any debauchery in the stands? Anything outrageous?
There actually wasn't that much stuff. Everyone was on a good vibe. There was no fights. I didn't see anyone get arrested, which I was quite surprised because it's just full of bogans.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to cast aspersions on NRL fans, but I would have imagined there would have been at least 1 or 2 fisticuffs.
I know. Yeah, I've seen a few rogue things going around on Facebook at the moment. Just lads having fun over there. And if you're ever thinking about going to Magic Round, I would highly recommend.
And the Saturday afternoon, there were some huge games there. There must have been as well. Tense. Is it weird watching so many games of teams when you're the whole time just thinking, bring on the Wars?
Yeah, it is. But I think the quality of the NRL this year just speaks for itself as well, because I think the first 5 or 6 games, there was only like 4 points in them all as well. So it was crazy.
Did you stick around after the Warriors game and talk us through those fateful moments after the final whistle blew? Do you remember any of it?
Oh, we were going crazy. There was a few Penrith fans sitting around us as well. I had my shirt off, swinging it around my head. It was good. There was hakas going off in the crowd. I almost started one as well. It was it was a great experience.
It would have been lovely to see a tall, very, very tall Samoan. Is that right?
Yeah.
But a very pale in complexion man busting out some haka would have been something to behold.
Yeah, it was a special moment. And I think Dallin Watene-Zelezniak's family was over there doing one from the stands as well. It
200th
was
game, right?
Emotional. It was a great. I was almost crying.
You're almost crying now.
My voice is still crying.
It could be something else. And one last question: how was morale at the airport this morning at 6 a.m? Were there some other wounded soldiers coming back over the side of the Tasman, still ripping their regalia?
Yeah. It was the Jetstar flight back this morning. Most people there, I imagine, got it for quite a cheap flight, and then I think everyone was regretting it. The flight attendants, they were handing out Panadol on the plane and stuff as well. I've never seen it before, but
I've never seen that either. One more time.
6 a.m. in the morning, and it was great. Everyone was still wearing the Warriors jerseys. I haven't even showered.
No, I think you need to go home immediately. I quite frankly cannot believe you're still here. You need to leave. You're required by law to go home and have a shower. For everyone's good, but good on you for coming in. You are the real hero for hanging in here. I mean, it's been all day what you've been in here working and just completely committing to work, which, I mean, the bosses must absolutely love that sort of carry on.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Well done. You're a man of honour and we respect you immensely. We've got some Rage Against the Machine coming up, some Philly Quail and some Metallica as well. Now you go home. You get out of here, mate.
Up the wires.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast. Catch them weekdays from 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Well, as we've established, it certainly isn't with Keyzie, Hoity J and Mike Minogue as they are firmly entrenched, currently in transit, back from the Brisbane Magic Round. And what a win. The Warriors getting their season back on track, and boy, didn't they need it. I'd say the Pinoise movement was copping some heavy criticism around their contribution to the form slump. I'd say Matt Heath was really starting to think about maybe pouring the Pinot Noir down the sink and just getting back on the DB bitters. But I'd say after that effort on Sunday, the Pinot Noirs will firmly be back in style. And if you were following along on social media on either the Big Show or the Radio Hodaki post, you would have seen there was plenty of people over there at the Magic Round with a bit of Pinot Noirs merchandise, which I did not know existed. They'd obviously made it, and we're repping it with pride. So the Pinot Noirs are back in action. The Warriors back home this weekend as well on Sunday afternoon, evening almost, a later game. So it'll be nice to see them back on form. Hopefully the few people out of the injury bin as well. Speaking of the injury bin, the Big Show will be back tomorrow as well, and you can hear everything, what went wrong, from the horse's mouth. And I'm sure that'll be some interesting listening. All right, Rage Against the Machine now. Time for some Bulls on Parade on Radio Hodaki. This is a lovely way to finish off your Monday and shake it out into the new week. It's the Big Show.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
As Sunday Shining on Radio Hodaki. Tony Lyall here, and had the pleasure last night of doing some stand-up comedy in Sky City, a beautiful theatre here in Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland. And Sunday night crowds, you're kind of thinking to yourself, oh yeah, you know, these guys have been at the comedy festival before. They'll be just chilled out, relaxing, having a good eased off time. And can I just tell you, a 7 p.m. crowd on a Sunday can really get after it. There was a couple of people in particular who I actually think might have watched the Warriors and then gone to the comedy afterwards and built up a very slow head of steam over the entire day. I thought it was going to be a very well-behaved, respectable crowd, and for the most parts they were. But, some people certainly getting after it. And, I mean, that's how you do it, right? Have a bit of fun at the comedy show. And the comedy festival is on for one more week as well, happening in Auckland and Wellington. There's a bunch of shows on in the final week, so don't miss out. Head along, go see someone before it's too late. I mean, a couple of shows off the top of my head, if I was to guess. You know, Melanie Bracewell's there, Reese Matthewson, Hannah Campbell, Brendan Green, all great people to go and check. Lana Walters, David Corrier, so many good shows. It's part of the comedy festival, so go check them out. Oh, why not check out my show while you're doing it? Tony Lyall, Lower the Tone opens tomorrow night. Hear what all the fuss is about by going to comedyfestival.co.nz and buying some tickets. Perfect thing to do while you listen to a bit of Metallica. It's The Unforgiven.
The Hodaki Big Show with Jason Hoyt, Mike Minogue and Keyzie.
Beastie Boys with Sabotage on Radio Hodaki. There we go. Tony Lyall here filling in for the Big Show, who is coming home from Brisbane after the Magic Round. And it was a massive weekend of sport all round. It was outrageous, quite frankly. Of course, I'd say the other, I wouldn't say disappointment, but it was a disappointment, but not the other disappointment. I was trying to say maybe the guys not getting back was a disappointment, but then you stuck with me, so that's probably a huge win. Was the Phoenix, obviously, going down in extra time to the victory, and they looked like they'd got it back. A 99-minute equaliser, sending Sky Stadium in Wellington into an absolute Ferrari. It was nuts. It was such an incredible goal, such an incredible moment for the club. You know, they've had such an awesome season. And then, unfortunately, in that extra time, just didn't go their way. It's tough. A tough way to end the season, but I think Phoenix, they're coming back bigger than ever. I don't want to say they're going to rise like a phoenix because that's the obvious cliche, but nonetheless, they'll rise like me in the morning, I guess. And by that, I mean getting out of bed. I've dug myself a hole here. Also, plenty of Super Rugby over the weekend. We don't need to go on about what happened on Saturday night with the old Blues and the Islanders. We'll forget that game ever happened, but there were some big results floating around in the rest of that as well. And it shapes up to be a very interesting end of the season. This coming weekend, we now have the Chiefs and the Canes on Friday night, and the other big game, the Crusaders and the Blues on Saturday night. And both those games were brought to you by the ACC on Sky Sport 9 and iHeartRadio, so you can get your fill of Super Rugby. Then, of course, the Warriors again on Sunday, available on Sky Sport 9 with the ACC's coverage coming your way. Good luck, Monkeys and Timber Trap on the way on Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
It's Timber Trap with Sweet Disposition on Radio Hodaki. Tony Lyall filling in for the Big Show here. Of course, they're still away, and we have got some audio here of Mogi, and this is when I think he knew he'd missed it. This must be from this morning, and he maybe thought they were going to get back in time to be able to come in and do the show themselves.
Yeah, g'day, you mad dogs. It's old Mogi here. Feeling like $1 million. Listen to that voice. Beautiful. Just making our way to the airport. Be on a plane very, very shortly. In fact, I think we're boarding any minute. So, look, Toddy, I'm feeling confident, mate. I think we're going to make the show today. It might be tight, but we will be there. Going to deliver one hell of a show for you. See you soon.
Well, I can confirm that one hell of a show has been delivered so far, but it has been delivered by me, Tony Lyall. So, happy to step in and show you how to swing from time to time. And G Lane, obviously former head of Radio Hodaki, current head of ACC, he jumped on with Matt and Jerry this morning, had this to say about the debacle.
And members of the Big Show, 3 out of the 4 are missing after that victory over there at Brisbane, which is actually pretty good, I think, 3 out of 4. But the fact that Jason Hoyt managed to get on a plane is beyond me. How did that happen? How did he get to the airport without support staff? I don't know.
I don't know about that. Yeah, if you were going to tell me at the start of this tour who was going to go missing, Jason Hoyt was number 1. But he surprised everyone, and he got on the plane, and the rest of them are still over there.
Yeah, I'd say he has surprised absolutely everyone, with Hoyty J being the person to make it back home. Pakistan, Keyzie and Mogi not quite as lucky. But they will be back. I've been told that flights have been arranged. There was a hefty invoice from what I've heard for one of the flights being changed. I was actually in the back office here at Hodaki and heard some conversation. And, there's a lot of laughing and joking about a lot of this stuff, but that was certainly not one of those conversations where there is jokes. And, geez, doesn't this song just make you think of the NRL? Probably the perfect song to play after a massive weekend of Magic Round footy, resulting in that scintillating Warriors win. While the song plays, I might go online and watch some highlights. You can chill out and listen to it. It's Voodoo Child, Jimi Hendrix.
The Hodaki Big Show Podcast.
It's live, I Alone on Radio Hodaki. Tony Lyall here, and I've been trying to sell a kid's car seat, the capsule thing, and the base on Trade Me for so long, and no one will buy it. And I thought, hey, I'm on the radio now. I can just ask, does anyone want to buy a kid's capsule and base? I think it's Gordon & Co. or something & Co. At the very least. It's only up for $100. So what more do you want? If you want to get one of those, give me a text on 3483. See if we can't do a little bit of wheeling and dealing while I've got you on the radio here. I'll give you all the information, obviously. I should probably find out who's it called. Graham & Co? Something. I don't know. What's a car seat? What's a car seat supplier? I simply can't remember. It's almost like this is one of those things I should have thought about before I came on to the radio. Should have thought, hey, maybe just do your research, find out what you're selling, what you're trying to get. Edwards & Co. There you go. I remembered. It's a little car seat, Edwards & Co. If you want one, I mean, obviously, we've got to exchange some New Zealand dollars for it. I'm not your big show with the sort of money to miss flights left, right and centre. But give me a text, 3483, see if we can't do a deal. And if that isn't a good use of my time on the radio, I quite frankly do not know what is. This is MGMT with Time to Pretend on Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast.
Radio Hodaki, Tony Lyall filling in for the big show today. And about this time of night on a Monday, normally, if a bunch of people didn't miss a flight back from Brisbane, I might be driving to swimming with the kids. They've got swimming at about this time on a Monday, and it's about as late as you can possibly do swimming, I always think, with the kids. I didn't know before we had kids, activities after school go really late. I had no idea. I thought it was like 4:30, you were done by 5, you could be home, watch Home Improvement, and have, meat and 3 veg, as per the Kiwi dream. But no, it goes very late, these sort of things. So if you do have any listening in the car, kids, do well at swimming today. And if anyone's off to swimming today with their kids, all the kids listen to me here, you want to do bubble, 1, 2, 3, I think is the call. Do something like that. Keep your head down. Listen to your teacher, which is good advice for everyone, I reckon. I think even if you're not going to swimming lessons, bubble, 1, 2, 3, that's the key. Black Keys, White Stripes, and Guns N' Roses on the way on Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show podcast. Catch them weekdays from 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Well, once again, it certainly is not the boys. They didn't make it back from Aussie. Tony Lyall here, filling in. Been woken from my eternal slumber to come and cover them, hide some of their messes. And I just want to say, everyone else, we made it to work today. Everyone enjoyed the Warriors yesterday. Everyone had an extra gin and tonic or Pinot Noir or whatever it might have been, and we all did the right thing and trucked on and made it to work. So I'd say there'll be some hard conversations had tomorrow about the boys and their behaviour. I mean, I, quite frankly, am very pro because I think you got to celebrate the wins in life. That's an important thing, but, some of the bigwigs around here seem to be a little bit disappointed. So that's for them to know, their meetings to have. I don't need to worry about it. All I need to do is be quiet and play the tunes. Here's the Black Keys, Little Black Submarines on Radio Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Radio Hodaki, that is the White Stripes with Icky Thump. Tony Lyall filling in for the big show, and a huge development in the case of the missing big show. I've had word in my ear that a plane has touched down at Auckland International Airport, and one Chris Key is on that plane, and he's on the line right now. The plane has touched down. Keyzie, mate, what has gone on here?
Hello, Tony. I hope you're well, mate. Well, look, it's pretty obvious what's happened here. Magic Round happened. When we factored in, how things were going to go this weekend, we didn't factor in a Warriors victory with half their troops missing over the best NRL team of the last decade. So naturally, when that happened and we were in the Warriors supporters zone, myself, Mogi, and even Pugs, we got pretty swept up by it all, and one thing led to another. Next thing you know, it's 2 a.m. on Caxton Street, and we're the last ones at the pub, and we're getting ushered out. So Hoity J got back on time, so I'm sure he's in there doing the show with you today.
Well, he's actually not. He also hasn't come in. I imagine it's sort of a one-man doesn't come in. We all don't come in. I am Spartacus situation, really. So I think he hasn't come in solidarity with you and Mogi.
Well, to be honest, the amount of punishment that Hoity J has been through the last 3 days, he's earned a day off. Even on Caxton Street, him in a Warriors bucket hat and a Warriors jersey was, it was flies on pig excrement or whatever the saying is. It was full on. He's emotionally exhausted, socially exhausted. Meanwhile, myself, Mogi, and Pugson, who all sat basically on the floor because we didn't have accommodation, we're just a combination of every kind of exhausted you can be.
You sound quite chipper. Did you get some sleep on the flight?
I did just have a wee nap. The good news is, Tony, when you're booking a last-minute flight, a few hours before, the only available seats are premium economy. So myself, Pugs, and Mogi, we slept like babies. We had a massive feed of some quail or something. Washed it down with a few OJs and straight to sleep.
Yeah, sounds pretty good. And what about things at home? Is it okay? I know work-wise it's probably in a bit of turmoil, but had you cleared this one off?
Well, the good news is, yes, work-wise, it's not a good situation. We're going to have to get in there tomorrow and just address things, and I'm sure Toddy, our boss, will want to take us aside and have a stern word with us. And unfortunately, the same thing's going to happen when I get home tonight as well. I pretty much went zero dark for about 24 hours there Just messaged the wife now. She's left me on scene. So, look, I'll address that when I need to. In the meantime, I've got an hour and a half worth of sitting in traffic in an Uber to get through.
Well, enjoy that. We'll leave you to it, and I'm sure we'll hear the full retelling of what went on tomorrow when you guys are back proper here on the big show. But you know what? Just for me, I just want to say well done. I think it's good to represent. You got to celebrate the victories in life when they come your way. You got to celebrate them well, and I think you guys personified that. So for me, you know, someone who holds no significance in you getting in any trouble in any facets of your life, I think you're A-okay, buddy.
Thanks, Tony, mate. As long as you're giving it the big thumbs up, I will do literally anything.
2 thumbs up from Big T.
Good on you, mate. We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, mate. Well, I won't be here because you guys will be back, but I can't wait to hear how that all unfolded, all the details, and hopefully a little bit more energy from Keyzie, who certainly sounded like a dead man walking there. Oh, you love to hear it. Guns N' Roses, The Naked and Famous, and Queens of the Stone Age on the way on Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show Podcast.
Radio Hodaki, it is The Naked and Famous with Youngblood. Tony Lyall here filling in for the Big Show. It has been fun laughing at the Big Show's failure. And if you do enjoy laughing, good news, there is still one more week of the International Comedy Festival with Best Foods Mayo. It is on right now, the last week, so go see some shows. My show opens tomorrow night, and it is coming together 5 nights at the Classic, so I'd love to see you there. Head to comedyfestival.co.nz. Grab yourself a ticket. The Saturday is nearly sold out, so if you're thinking about coming Saturday, get amongst it. Snap in there, get one while you can, and feel free to come any other night as well. Love to see you there at Comedy Festival. Queens of the Stone Age now. This is Smooth Sailing on Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show Podcast.
Blur with Song 2 on Radio Hodaki, and the Big Show, they are away. They're in Brisbane, and they're on the road, you could say it, and they're going to be on the road again very soon, down in Dunedin, Wednesday the 29th of May. Hopefully they've recovered, and hopefully they catch their plane home. Make sure you're at Emerson's Brewery in Dunners from 4 p.m. to catch up with the Big Show. Grab yourself a Backbone t-shirt, have a few lagers, although they certainly might be teetotal by that stage, but I'm sure it'll still be a rip-roaring good time. That's Emerson's Brewery in Dunners on the 29th of May for the Big Show on the road. Got some more tunes coming your way from Moby, The Killers, and Faith No More on Radio Hodaki.
The Hodaki Big Show, weekdays at 4 on Radio Hodaki.
Radio Hodaki. Tony Lyall here, filling in for the Big Show, and I am off. The Big Show will be back tomorrow, and you need to tune in to find exactly what happened, what went wrong, and where the wheels fell off for the Big Show. I'm sure they'll be in here with their tails between their legs on their best behaviour, showing all sorts of contrition. So make sure you're listening from 4 tomorrow to hear the details. I simply cannot wait for some of that action. I really cannot. We've got Tom Petty, The Verve, and Kings of Leon. I'll see the rest of you tomorrow at Comedy Festival. Tony Lyall signing off. Hide it up.